This strategic management process is about getting from point A to point B more effectively, more efficiently, and enjoying our journey and learning from it. And part of that journey is the strategy, but part of it is the execution. And having a good strategy dictates how we travel the road that we've selected. And effective execution makes sure that we're checking in along the way. We've divided the process into 4 phases: assess, design, build, and manage. So the first phase is assessing our current position. We've scanned the trends in our environment and our industry. We've identified the market and competitive opportunities and the threats. We clarify the target customers and our value proposition, and then we determine our strengths and weaknesses, and we synthesize all this into a SWOT. That's the assessment phase. The second phase is the design phase. We determine our primary business model and our purpose. We identify our corporate values, and we create an image of what we want to look like in 3 to 5 years. That's our vision. We solidify our competitive advantage based on our key strengths. We formulate organizational-wide strategies that explain and establish the approach for how we will succeed. And then we agree on strategic issues that we need to address in the planning process. The third phase is the building process, where we develop our strategic framework and define long-term objectives. And then we set short-term smart organizational goals and measures. And then we select which measures will be the key performance indicators. And finally, the last but not least is our manage phase, where we establish an implementation schedule. We train our team to use the strategy to manage their particular part of the plan, and we review progress along the way in quarterly strategic reviews. Okay, let's get to the assess portion, phase 1. What are the strategic issues that we need to address? Well, how are we going to grow? How are we going to diversify our revenue? What improvements do we need to make to stay competitive? And then where do we need innovation? What are the opportunities that we want to capitalize on? What are the threats that we need to mitigate? What are the strengths that we want to build on? What do we do well? What are our core competencies? What differentiates us from our competitors? Why do our customers buy from us? And then what do we need to shore up? What are our weaknesses? Where do we lack resources? What can we do better? Where are we losing money? And in what areas do our competitors have an edge? So we'll work right now on this SWOT, take a look at our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats, and we're going to build on our strengths, shore up our weaknesses, capitalize on our opportunities, and manage the threats. So what are our strengths? I can tell you that everyone in the organization answered the same way. The first thing everyone said was our strengths were in our people. And I couldn't agree more, but it's a little bit more difficult to identify what specifically about our people makes up our strength. We all can agree, and everyone can agree in the organization, that healthcare service collections is our strength. There is no doubt about that. I think also Bill will point out that our cash flow and the consistency of our cash flow, that's certainly a strength. I would like to add personally that our leadership has an entrepreneurial spirit that is absolutely a strength. We are not risk averse. Bill, you're not risk averse. So anything else that you guys can think of specifically for strengths? Let's discuss this further. But I think I can define what about our people is specifically a strength. And it's this. When our people are given a goal, when we give our people a target, a goal, we hit it. And that is a strength. Believe me. What are our weaknesses? Weaknesses are a little bit harder to define because we have to look in the mirror, but there are some universally agreed on weaknesses that have been almost unanimous in my discussions with staff, clients, C-level executives, leadership, etc. Obviously, we lack a clear marketing strategy. Another thing that's universally accepted is that we have some areas that need improvement relative to technology. We also lack a clear and compelling vision for where we want to end up as a company. What are our goals as a company? We have a financial transparency issue from a reporting standpoint and just a data analysis standpoint as well. Another area of improvement that will be necessary is in process, or at least the operationalization of our process. We also have 78.1% of our revenue derived from 2 clients. I know that's on the third-party collection side only, and there's some other revenue. But certainly from our services standpoint, our core services standpoint, 78.1% of our revenue comes from 2 clients. That's a weakness. Recruiting and skill training has been mentioned as a weakness. Opportunities. This is interesting. Certainly in line with our leadership's entrepreneurial spirit, mergers and acquisition. These are very, very huge opportunities for us in the willingness to continue with an M&A strategy. The TSW opportunity. We have a blank canvas, a scalable opportunity for growth. Another opportunity I'm calling third-party strategic partnership platforms. These are the strategic relationships that we can contract to help us shore up on some of our weaknesses. These are readily available and very, very inexpensive. These are huge opportunities. Fourth quadrant, threats. Our threats are minimal. We have some specific threats relative to somewhat of a slowing industry, but the collections industry is strong. There's some merger and acquisition threats relative to big boys, but that could be an opportunity as well. We do have as mentioned in our weaknesses, a client to revenue ratio. We're addressing that immediately. Our biggest threats are the technological advancements that our competition is currently leveraging to advance their collections liquidation rates. That's the biggest threats. So that's our SWOT. Let's continue. So looking at this SWOT, it becomes very clear as to the strategic issues that we need to address. First, we need to diversify our client base, our industry specialties, as well as the suite of services that we provide well. So said another way, we need to diversify our revenue, our client base, and the services that we provide. Second, we need to improve our technology and our data analysis capabilities so that we can improve operational performance, client services excellence, and even skill set training through real-time data intelligence-based decisions. Finally, we need financial transparency, cost accounting, and campaign profit and loss focus. So here it becomes easier to produce a framework. It allows us to piece together our vision for the next 3 to 5 years. And it's something like this. Overall, we leverage our competitive advantage, which is our people, and their passion, their determination, and their ability to achieve the goals that are put in front of them. And we leverage this competitive advantage to expand first on our core competency industry, which is healthcare. And we market specifically to our key client competitors, Schumacher's competitors. And we present to this customer segment our value proposition. And what's that? Well, we choose our customers. And through intimate customer relationships, we partner with these chosen few, and we understand their goals, which become our goals. And our people always hit our goals every time. Then we expand our industry specialty by leveraging strategic partnerships with proven successful organizations, and we white label their process and their excellence. We absorb their process and their excellence. And as new healthcare clients grow through our US-based centers, we leverage TSW to provide scalability of process. And as new industry segments grow, we operationalize the process from these learned improvements of our strategic partnerships, and we once again leverage TSW to provide the scalability as well. There's the growth. And then we take advantage of the multitude of inexpensive yet sophisticated business intelligence platforms that are readily available on the market that provide data analysis tools and resources, and we integrate into all of these process improvements, including financial analysis, the cost accounting function, and even the skill set management of our agents in every sector, in every industry that we expand into. And finally, we create a strategic plan with specifics to expand through mergers and acquisitional opportunities with transparent budgets, transparent funding, and transparent sourcing. It's a plan that we use to expand through mergers and acquisitions. And that's it. Now we simply need to put this framework into a clear and compelling vision, and then establish the approach that we want to take by focusing on the 4 objectives that I mentioned, Karen and I put together early with our financial, customers, process excellence, and people. That's it. And that's next.